You're afraid of leaving this job that you have because you got a good paycheck and you don't want to experiment now and you don't want to try something that might be more suited to you, but God knows where your paycheck is going to come from. But I'm telling you, you have more to fear 10 years, 20 years down the line if you're in a field that doesn't excite you. Because we live in a world now where things are changing so quickly. Your career path is really altering. You're not going to be working at the same place for very long. And once your career changes and there's shifts going on in the world, you're going to be screwed because you don't know how to adjust. You're doing something that you don't love. You should be afraid of that.
If you have money in the bank or equity in your house or you have a retirement account, you have a limiting belief about money. You're saving for a rainy day. You have equity in your home waiting to pay it off in 30 years. Completely ridiculous. No high performance person needs to worry about paying their house off. You should rent where you live, own stuff that other people pay you for, and just rent where you live and be mobile. How much you earn is a limiting belief. How you keep it, where you keep it is a limiting belief.
Okay, intimacy. This is a fundamental pillar of human relationships. I don't care whether it is with your children, with your colleagues, with your friends, or with your spouse. Intimacy is your life. To be intimate with somebody is to see them, to feel them, to hear them, to understand them. Is to fully take them in and to give yourself to them. Sex is not intimacy. It can enhance intimacy. But most of us are trying to screw each other to get it. And it doesn't often work. But intimacy, that's your life. If you want to have a good one, intimacy is your life with everyone. What intimacy manifests as in a relationship with a child is going to be different than what intimacy manifests as with a partner. But it does not matter. Your life is intimacy from this day forward. Trust me, when you get a taste of it, you won't want anything else.
Look, when you're a kid, you're all potential. It's chaotic potential. It can manifest itself in any number of ways. And maybe you don't want to give that up. So you're like Peter Pan. You want to be a kid forever because you don't want to give up the potential. And you look out in the world and all you see are Captain Hooks, you know, who've lost a hand, who are chased by death because that's the clock in the crocodile. It's already got a taste of him. He's terrified by death and he's a tyrant. Well, I don't want to grow up to be that. So I won't be disciplined at all. Well, that's no good. Because the way the potential transforms itself into actuality is through discipline. Well, they say, well, I don't know what to do. It's like, that's okay. Nobody does. Go do something. Do the best thing that you can think of. Put the best plan you have into practice. It's not going to be perfect and it will change along the way. But it will change partly because you become disciplined pursuing the path. And as you become disciplined, you become wiser. And as you become wiser, you become able to formulate better and better plans.
If you decide that you will be poor, there's nothing I can do. You're gonna be poor. If you decide to be rich today, who's gonna stop you? Who? If you decide you want to be rich, all you gotta do is start. Why not? Who's gonna stop you? Unless you tell it to the wrong person.
We should never stop trying to add value to our partners' lives. I really think we should wake up every day and ask ourselves a simple question. What's one thing I can do to add value to my partner's life today?
What a great idea.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And not from the point of view of what will add value from your point of reference, but what will do it for them.
Yeah.
You, my friend, need to figure out what you're best at. Is that making content on social media? Is that being a charismatic personality? Is that being a salesperson, buying, selling stuff, connecting with people? When you're 16, you have time. Remember when you were bored? Remember when you could do that? Andy, remember when you were like, I'm bored? You don't have that kind of time when you grow up. And so I would take advantage of that time because that is the asset.
And I stopped thinking about myself and I started thinking about how can I be useful to other people. And I think that I did not grow up and become the person I am until I was less focused on me and I was more focused on how could I be useful? Who could I help? Because the amazing thing is when you help somebody, that gives you confidence.
You have no idea how limitless you are when you don't care what other people think or say about you.
People are not listening to you. Stop talking to them. And that is the best piece of advice that I can give you. And what happens is that if you stop talking to people who aren't listening to you and start watching them instead, they will tell you what they're up to. But so if you have things to say, You say them, but you find people that will listen. Talk to them. The ones who aren't listening, pull back. Because you're devaluing what you have to say by offering it to an audience that does nothing but reject it. And that's a good guideline to life in general. So pull back.